Hi, my name is Michelle Wright, and my novel Small Acts of Defiance has just come out with Allen and Unwin. And I'm here today to give you a bit of a behind the scenes look at my writing processes, where, when I write, etc. So as you can see, I am in my bed, which is where I do a lot of my writing. And as there is no one next to me, I get to have my notebook and pen on the pillow next to me, which is very handy because often at 2 in the morning, I'll wake up with an idea, turn the light on, write it down, and then have a look at it in the morning. Usually it makes no sense whatsoever, but at least it's down and out. So I spend a lot of my time here, generally in the morning, and then I get up and move to the next writing area, which is where I'll take you now. So let's just walk this way, and I'll try not to show you too much of my very messy house on the way. So we're just going around the corner into my, I guess, TV room, I guess you'd call it. Let me just pop you down here. And I will pop down here. So this is the room where I spend a lot of the rest of the day writing. I'm lucky at the moment I'm not working full time, not working at all actually. So just working on, I spent a lot of last year in lockdown doing the structural edit for Small Acts, and at the moment I'm working on my next novel. So this is my dog Harvey. I'll just move out of the way. So I spend a lot of time in here. I don't have a writing desk or an office or anything like that. I just like to kind of move around the house and follow the sun. I often spend some time out on the front porch as well. We might go out there later. So this is, just comfy. It's where I like sitting. I don't work directly on a laptop. I write in notebooks to begin with, and it's very kind of messy. I just kind of, make lots of notes and scribbles and questions to myself, and then cross things out as they're done and highlight stuff. So it's a pretty messy process, one that I've been trying to improve as I go along, because I do kind of tend to get a bit lost in my notes sometimes. And once I've done that, then I transfer things to the laptop and edit from there. And I don't really, some people talk about, first draft, second draft, third draft. I kind of have a bit of trouble distinguishing between my drafts. They kind of just, one morphs into the other. So it's really difficult for me to say, how many drafts I've done of a novel or even a short story. It's just a constant evolution as I go along. I spent a lot of time here. Obviously, for Small Acts of Defiance, I had to do a lot of research. It's a historical novel set in World War II Paris. I did live there. I've lived there for about 12 years in all. And so I know Paris very well. I know a fair bit about French culture and history and language. But I was also really lucky to get an Australia Council for the Arts residency there in 2017, 2018. So I spent another 6 months there and was able to pick up a whole lot of French books, which was fantastic, visit a whole lot of archives, museums, memorials, things like that. So that was very, very handy. And I was able to bring a lot of that stuff back just to finish the research. I do a lot of research before I start writing, but then it's a kind of, once again, an evolving thing. As I'm writing, I'm finding new facts that I integrate into the story and take others out. So it's not a question of doing all the research first and then starting the draft of the novel. It's I integrate the research as I go along. Something else I wanted to show you, I was asked about whether there are any little rituals or special items for writing. This is something that I got very recently for publication day. My daughter and her partner, we had a special dinner with champagne and a little French themed dinner, which was lovely. And they gave me this very special present, which is a writer's robe. So I don't know if you can see, it's a very luxurious and heavy robe, I guess your dressing gown you'd call it, and it's beautiful and soft and velour and rich. And so I wear that now when I'm cold around the house and kind of just move from warm spot to warm spot as much as I can. But a funny thing, after I got this, I came across something online called the Diderot effect. So Diderot was a French philosopher who lived an impoverished life, and at one stage came into some money and bought himself a luxurious dressing gown. And from that moment on, all the rest of his belongings seemed tawdry and cheap. And it triggered what is called the Diderot effect, which is this need then to replace all your old possessions with fancy, luxurious new ones. So I'm hoping that my fancy new dressing gown doesn't trigger the Diderot effect in me. Hasn't so far. So yeah, as far as my writing routine, there really isn't one. I just try and do, you know, a few hours a day of whether it's research, writing, just thinking sometimes, you know, not even if I don't get any words down on paper, if I've gone for a walk, that's something I do. I go for a walk every day with Harvey, my dog, along the river at Warrandyte. So it's beautiful, really, really relaxing, and it just allows me to empty my mind. And that's when a lot of ideas come, and I usually just record them on my phone. So yeah, that's something that I do religiously every day, is go for that 1 hour long walk along the Yarra at Warrandyte. But otherwise, it's really just sitting, finding comfortable spots, doing some thinking, taking some notes, doing a little bit of searching online for interesting facts and figures. For the current novel that I'm researching, it's about a topic that I really don't know a whole lot about, which is portrait painting. So I have been contacting some portrait painters, Archibald Prize finalists, and they've very generously been chatting to me about their process. So yeah, it's a whole combination of online research, books, and then speaking to people as well. So that's all for the moment. I will take you outside and show you my front porch and come back. Okay, so here we go, back out onto the front porch. Hopefully you won't see too much of my messy house. You coming, Harvey? Come on. Okay. Pop this over here. Hey, oh, I forgot something. I'll go and get them back in a sec. Sorry about that. Yeah, so here's my front porch, which is where I tend to spend a lot of time when the sun's out, as it is briefly this afternoon. So it's a really beautiful place. It's a bit noisy today with the wind, so hopefully you can hear me. I've got lovely wind chimes happening here. And this is, yeah, whenever the afternoon sun hits the porch, this is where I am doing my writing and often reading as well. Speaking of which, a recommendation of a recent Australian author, Melbourne author actually. His book was released just before lockdown, but it has been impacted, I think, by the numerous lockdowns, so I thought I'd give it a shout out. It's As Swallows Fly by L.P. McMahon. It's a beautiful, beautiful, gentle story of a young girl from Pakistan who has undergone some trauma and comes out to Australia and meets a plastic surgeon, and it's about their relationship. A really, really beautiful, sensitive and intelligent telling of this story of the relationship between these two women, and an amazing insight as well into the medical world. So I definitely recommend that, As Swallows Fly by L.P. McMahon. Okay, that's about all I had to show you and tell you today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please support Melbourne authors, especially those who've had their launches impacted by lockdown, and also support local booksellers, independent bookshops who are really doing it hard during this latest lockdown. So I encourage you all to support them. Thanks very much. Bye.